All right. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Don't mind me. This is just water. This is just water. People see the red cup and automatically think it's something. I think it was yesterday, man. People was like, "What you got in that cup?" Ain't nothing in that cup but water. It's all good. Anyway, I wanted to jump on here real quick for those of you who could also join me. First off, thank you for joining me. Secondly, I ask you guys all the time, send me something in my inbox if you want me to talk about it. If you want me to, whatever, just dissect something. If you're dealing with something, especially if I feel like it can help a lot of people, I'll do that. All right. So I got this topic. Why is it that a guy will send mixed signals? And I always find that interesting, but not so much because I guess at the root of a lot of the hard decisions we have to make is some level of confusion. And what's more confusing than mixed signals? But I gotta say this, when we talk about mixed signals, there's both the internal factor and an external factor. It's not all him, okay? But it's not strictly you either. So we're gonna get into the him part. And by the way, this is all vice versa. One of the most annoying things is whenever I look in the comments, people are like, oh my God, this goes both ways. Yes, it does. Not that everything will literally be synonymous across the board, because men and women are not synonymous, okay? We're equal in value, but we're not synonymous in our role in relationships and how we move and that kind of thing. But if a woman asks me a question, guys, I'm going to answer within the context of this being a woman that I'm talking to. I don't mean to offend anybody, but if you are offended, go to church, release that to God or something like that, okay? Anyway, argue with your mama. But as far as the mixed signals dialogue, why does a man, yes, it goes vice versa, but why does a man send mixed signals? The first thing that comes to mind for me is that this is the wrong time in his life. Now, whether or not he knew it, which I, definitely think is his responsibility to know that. But whether or not he knew it, that's a whole different conversation. But why? It typically, there's a couple of things going on. Financially, maybe he's not in place. Relationally, maybe he's not in place. You'll find a lot of people will date seriously 3 or 4 people, have feelings for each one of those people. And then here he is with you, not really quite sure what he wants to do in order to go forward, or if he wants to go forward. So that's the first reason. It's really not the right time. There's no certainty. There's no clarity. And quite honestly, ladies, especially if you're into a dude that can lead, I don't think a man is really fit to lead if there's no clarity. Or if you're in a relationship, some of y'all have gone through this season. The moment that a man hits that season of like a lack of focus or there's no clarity, what happens? There's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of insecurity, right? I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I've been there, right? So I'm not talking as an expert. I'm talking as a witness. So coming into a situation, if there's no clarity, I don't know why you would want to get involved with that anyway. Not saying on your part yet, because there is a part that you play. Not saying on your part yet. Of course, you're trying to figure things out. You're trying to hear him clearly. You're trying to understand. You're probably asking questions, whether you're throwing hints or getting straight up direct with it. Hey, what are we doing here? What do you want? If he has a lack of clarity, there's this going on, there's that going on, I'm not sure. Guess what? It's not the right time in his life. One of the prerequisites in order to move forward with a man, I believe, is that he is 100% certain on his purpose and what he wants out of a relationship with you. Anything else he's leaving to you to figure out or still trying to get answers to, it's not safe ground for you to invest your heart. It's not safe. Imagine going to go get heart surgery or something like that by somebody who wasn't really sure they wanted to be a heart surgeon. They're not quite, they like it, but they got some other things on the table. No, we're not doing this. Even if the person has the qualifications, they got the degree on the wall, they don't went to whatever the best heart surgery Ivy League school is. No matter what, they got on that end, the talent and the skill. If on that day they're supposed to do your heart surgery, they're not really sure. Guess what? You're not in safe hands. The same thing goes whenever you get into a relationship with a man. So if that's the case, if he's talking to you and he's telling you, I'm trying to figure this out, or this or that, maybe he already has a girl. Maybe he's already made a promise over here, and it could be that kind of thing. He's really on a break right now from his relationship, so now he's dealing with you, and there's that lack of clarity, which is lack of integrity as well. But the moral of that story is, if there's no clarity, there's no safety there, right? But that would be one reason why a man will be sending you mixed signals. He's all about you. He really likes you. But then on the other hand, there's no progression that typically comes with all of this affection and nice words and time being spent and great sex and all of these other things that should be accompanied with forward progression to a real relationship or a marriage. Now, the second reason, what do I have here? Because actually, I don't typically do notes, but I try to do one this time for you guys. Oh, yeah. Initially attracted for one reason, but since coming into your space has now become intrigued with another thing that he really likes about you. Now, here's the thing. This is really kind of similar to number one, where a man may be initially attracted strictly because of the physical, right? I said number one because the wrong time. Typically, whatever he's initially attracted to or whatever initially draws him to you is what he came prepared for. So he came prepared. If it was just something physical, he came prepared to deliver on that. He came prepared with the protection. He came prepared for that, but he didn't quite come equipped for whatever it was long term that he got intrigued by whenever you guys actually started talking and hanging out, spending time. It's nothing physical. Typically it's not like he comes in on some long term type of time and then he switches to short term. If he really came in on long term, guys who come in saying I want something long term are definite about that, and they're not entertaining anything else. But on the other hand, there are a lot of brothers that come in and they say, look, man, I'm just chilling. Y'all done heard it before. I'm just cooling right now. I ain't looking for nothing serious. I really don't have the time. I'm not in the best place of my life. I'm blah, 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 blah. And then give it a month, give it 2 months. Now he done fell in love. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you've had this happen to you before. Give it a couple months, give it a couple weeks even. Some of y'all, because you lit. You're very personable. Some of y'all take that on as a challenge, but that's a whole nother video. Anyway, he came in initially attracted to one thing, but then got intrigued by another. And now he's caught in between that rock and the hard place, knowing that he didn't come prepared for what he's now become intrigued by, but he also doesn't want to walk away from what he's intrigued by because he ain't never experienced that before. Either way it goes back to number one, where there's no clarity. Now with this one, I say it's time. You got to draw a line in the sand. It's not about an ultimatum. It's about you requiring clarity and letting him know like, hey, well, I came in or I'm currently prepared to do this a certain way. I'm prepared even if, things are not like the foundation isn't awesome. Maybe we started off with a one night stand or something like that. This thing feel like it's leaning. Ugh. Let me just kind of bring y'all in. I'll just hold you by my hand. All right, cool. Y'all still with me? Maybe this thing started off as a one night stand. Maybe y'all just hit it off at the club. Maybe things were cool. Y'all chatted it up, had a couple drinks, moved kind of fast. But now you wanted to be something where there's a way to rebuild that foundation from the ground up. Most people don't do this. Most people just say, oh, if you start off on a one night stand, it's over with. No, there are many healthy, thriving marriages and relationships now that started off on something quick, 2 to 3 days, maybe 2 to 3 hours. Because they rebuilt the foundation on the right stuff. And the same thing vice versa. There's people who are celibate for 2-3 years, getting to know each other, married for one, and then it, all went downhill. So I don't think there's definitely a rule. I don't think the rule is that you go out here, you get it popping with somebody on the first night, and then you try to, renovate everything from the ground up. However, it's not a definite that has to be the way where you start off 6 months straight just getting to know each other. Again, that's the rule. That's the best way. That's the best practice. But in a situation like that, you may want to make it clear what it is you want. And then both of you come together with, okay, this is what it's going to take in order to make this happen. So that we're not just riding on that lust or this honeymoon phase or, just a wave of emotion. Let's take it a step back and let's really develop a true friendship, because a true friendship does have to be there. Like 95 or 96%. Like if you have sex every day for an hour with a person, that's 4% of the relationship. Somebody check me down there in the comments. Somebody fact check me. That's only 4% of your relationship. 1 hour out of every day, 24 hours, is only 4%, something around there. So 96% of your relationship, you got to be doing something else. You got to be with somebody who's truly your friend, who you really have a lot in common with. You guys can just talk or just you really want to check on each other. All the values and all of that stuff does come later. But up front, if you guys don't even have a friendship, it's really pointless. It'll be two people who look good on paper and really still don't need to be together. So anyway, once you make that clear, once you draw that line in the sand and you say, hey, this is what I'm on, he has the chance to really either, as we call it back down in Alabama, either piss or get off the pot. Piss or get off the pot, and you have to be emotionally self-reliant enough to be ready to walk away if he's not ready to move forward in the direction that you're ready to move forward in order to rebuild that foundation so you guys can really have a genuine chance at the long-term game. Now, the third reason he may be sending mixed signals is because he doesn't have the balls to burn the bridge. He doesn't have the balls to burn the bridge. And a lot of guys, I've been there before too, a lot of guys are still in that situation. Tell me if y'all have ever encountered this. Have y'all ever encountered a situation where the guy kind of like, you guys start getting close, right? Soon as things start getting good, he starts pulling back. However, whenever you say something, whenever you try to draw that line in the sand, get some clarity established, he's never quite definitive about what he wants, like what type of time he's on, what's really going on. His answers don't make sense. Things are inconsistent. It's a lot of like leaving it kind of on you. If you don't want this, I'm just doing this. It's a whole lot of beating around the bush, but it's not any straightforwardness. This ain't just a lack of clarity. This is a person that's already made up his mind. Like, nah, this ain't it for me. I'm good on this, but he doesn't have the balls to burn the bridge. Now, the reason why I put it so frank like that, and y'all forgive my language. If you're new here, you ain't heard me curse in a long time or nothing like that. But those are my OGs in here. Y'all already know how I've been. The reason why I put it like that, doesn't have the balls to burn the bridge, is because it takes a certain level of courage, not just to have the conversation, but to not leave yourself the way back in with a woman. And that's what a lot of guys want to do. They want to end it now. They want to kill the hope to an extent now, but they don't want to prevent themselves from being able to come back when it's convenient. Right. And I think that's really just a lack of balls. That's a lack of courage. That's a lack of confidence that they can go out and just find somebody else who wants more of what they want, like without having to keep you in their back pocket as a safety net or anything like that. So the reason why you may be getting mixed signals, the reason why you may be getting, him doing just enough, like breadcrumbing you, just enough to stay in your presence, but never really enough to progress things, yet telling you it's kind of like he really does like you. He really does want to be around you. But right now it's this and right now it's that. It's a lot of just like blurred line, gray area stuff. It's because he doesn't have the balls to burn the bridge. And this is where you come in. This is where you come in. Now, ladies, this is where you can have some of your own, right? What is the female equivalent of balls, figuratively speaking? Whatever that is, this is where you grab your back pocket or whatever. I don't know. This is where you do your thing and you say, you know what? This doesn't meet my standard. This doesn't meet my qualification for security. This doesn't meet, this not it. I'm good on this. I need a man who, like, number one, I need a man who's clear. I need a man, like, number two, somebody who's on the same page as me. And then thirdly, if you don't want this bridge, if you're not trying to go forward so we can not only, just bridge out of this space, but then go bridge to, I don't know, getting properties and building a legacy and building an empire and stuff like that, I'm cool on you. That does take a certain level of certainty, right? So doesn't have the balls to burn the bridge, wants to keep you as a convenience, so he may send some mixed signals. That way, you are the one suffering all of that doubt. And typically, whenever a woman is just like immersed in doubt, she will keep that door unlocked. She'll keep that key under the mat, so to speak. She may leave, but she'll keep that key under the mat in case he wants to come back and then deliver her either closure or more uncertainty and lack of clarity and mixed signals. Now, where it becomes you, this, and I really think we can just really keep it really just one main thing here, even though that last one kind of was, is where the mixed signals is literally coming from you just focusing on the wrong signals. They're getting mixed up because you don't know what signals to even look at. when a man is saying, you know what, I'm not really ready for a relationship, that's the only signal that you need. You don't need to look at actions and patterns and blah, 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 blah. That's the only thing that you need. So whenever you talk to him and you say, hey, I'm enjoying the time that we're spending together. It seems like you do. But you know what? I don't think I've ever had the conversation, or we've ever had that conversation about exactly what we're doing here. So what is that exactly? And he gives you anything but, just in case I wasn't clear, let me make it very clear right now. I want you in my life, or I want a woman in my life, and you're the only one I'm seriously considering. I'm getting to know you. I'm enjoying that process, but I have every intention to continue this progression to a point where we are exclusive if we aren't already, or something of that nature, right? I don't have other words. It's been a long time since I've been on dating scene, but if you are focusing on, he said he's not ready for a relationship, but then he acts like this. He says this, but then he acts like that. You are focusing on the wrong signal. Now they're getting mixed because you ain't blocking a whole nother signal out. The action signal shouldn't even be making its way in. It shouldn't be on your radar. So, like typically we say, actions speak louder than words. It's not about what actions speak louder or what speaks loud. It's about what speaks the truth. And rarely, when it comes to this, when it comes to what he wants and things like rarely is a man going to lie whenever he says he's not ready for a relationship. If anything, he'll be lying about saying that he is ready for a relationship. But rarely, and I literally have never heard of it, where a man says, I'm not ready for a relationship. And he actually was ready. He was fully capable, fully equipped. He was fully emotionally available, present, invested, single. Rarely. Men don't typically lie about that. So if he says that, that's the only signal you really need to focus on. Now, let's take it over to, he said he's ready for a relationship and he's doing all of these right things, but then there are some wrong things in there, or some things that say that he's not really sure. Okay, the straight up signal is inconsistency. Either inconsistency, meaning he's doing the right thing, but it's intermittent, it's here and there, it's hit or miss, or there's a misalignment. He's consistent in being on a different page than you, from you. Either there's inconsistency in the right thing, or there's complete misalignment. He's not on this. He don't have the same shared values. He doesn't have the same shared priorities as you. So you guys really you like him, but there's a misalignment there. You guys really aren't compatible as much as you'd like to be, because you do enjoy certain aspects of him. You may like his jokes. You may like his masculinity. You may like how he is financially in a really great position as opposed to some of the other guys that you've dated. But when it comes to the style of communication, right? He likes to text. You like to talk on the phone. That's a misalignment. He likes to see you maybe once, twice a week. You think 4 to 5 times is what's necessary. That's a misalignment. So now it's not so much of a mixed signal. He may be consistently misaligned, or he may be inconsistent. So again, not a mixed signal. The inconsistency is its own signal. You're not even looking at the right signal. The inconsistency is its own signal. So now it's not that he's so much sending a mixed signal, it's that you're still looking at the wrong signal. You're looking at the right thing versus the wrong thing, instead of looking at, okay, is there even a pattern that you can invest your heart in that's there for the right thing? Is there a pattern? Or if something based, let me kind of come back on that a little bit, because nobody is perfect, right? Nobody is going to hit the mark. Nobody's batting 100. Nobody's getting it right every single day, but the consistency will be in the effort, genuine effort, tangible fruit of the effort. That's what the consistency will be. Not one day he's trying, and then one day he's totally dismissing you whenever you're letting him know, hey, look, I feel like, you didn't show up quite like I needed you to in this regard, or on this particular aspect. In this conversation, it felt like you were just on your phone or whatever. The inconsistency could be on one day or 1 week, he's all about that. I'm so sorry. Or, okay, thanks for letting me know that. And then on another day, it's what you mean? I'm on my phone. Yeah, I'm on my phone. You be on your phone. Now, The inconsistency has been created as its own signal. So what signal are you looking at? All right? What signal are you looking at? And do you have, I'm going to come back to this because it's so key, the emotional self-reliance to act on what you know about this situation. I can't count how many times people have come to me saying, D, I already know the answer. I already know what you're going to say. I just need to hear from somebody else. That means you lack the emotional self-reliance. And a person can strip you of that if you let them. If you stay around a person that erodes you over time, you could be stripped of your emotional self-reliance. So I'm not here to judge you, okay? I'm not here to judge you, but I'm here to keep it real with you. If you don't have the emotional self-reliance in order to act on what you know, hearing me talk ain't gonna help you. You can listen to a million YouTube videos, Instagram videos, watch, read memes all day, tune into your favorite podcast. It really don't matter. If you don't have the emotional self-reliance to act, it's like a person getting a fitness plan and, they're going to do 1,000 crunches a day and push-ups and run 10 miles a day. And they just sit on their couch and they eat ice cream. Ben and Jerry's is their membership. They ain't got no membership at Gold's Gym or Planet Fitness or nothing like that. You think they're gonna get any results? So you can know all these things up here, but do you have the emotional self-reliance in order to act? Now, why do I say emotional self-reliance? Because typically when a person does not want to move, it's because they become dependent on somebody else in an emotional aspect. Instead of being able to meet their own emotional needs and therefore draw confidence from that with or without that person, they'll be just fine. They'll figure it out. Maybe it initially will sting, but they'll figure it out. That would be emotionally self-reliant. They're looking to that other person to complete them, and therefore, even when they're getting done bad, and I'm not talking about just like, oh, they got hurt, but things, are going to get restored. Like, no, they're getting done bad. They're getting played with. They're getting played for a fool. They're getting trampled over. Boundaries are being completely disregarded. They still can't leave. That is an emotionally unreliant person, actually. Emotionally unself-reliant person. I've never said that before, as you could tell. Now, for those, you ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to be in these comments. I can see the comments just like you can. There's some folks in here that are not very nice. You do not have to say where you're at in these comments. But let me just offer this to you. There are resources that will help you specifically with that. You can go out and find them. I'm not as familiar with other people, but I know I have 10 books. One of them in particular called Don't Forget Your Crown, that will help you develop that emotional self-reliance. Again, this ain't just for the information. This is if you're ready to take the actual steps to develop that place that will allow you to move on what you know instead of just knowing more and more and more, hearing all of this confirmation from me, your friends, memes, and your pastor, your mama, your daddy. No, you actually need to develop that place within you that is able to act on these things. Again, my book is called Don't Forget Your Crown. And right now, as a matter of fact, if you get it, you can get my other 9 books for the price of 1. So you can have all the resources I have to offer on anything remotely related to this. That includes my most recent book, Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. That includes the book before that, Things She Wishes You Understood. Some of y'all don't even know about that one. And that's one of my favorites, actually. All of them. You can get Don't Forget Your Crown. And whenever you do, you can get my other 9 for the price of 1. I'll put that link in the caption. It should actually already be there. Link should already be there. I'll put it in the comments or something. Moderators, throw that in the comments. Moral of the story is this. When there are mixed signals being sent, it really all comes down to this. It's rarely that a person just does not know anything. 8 times out of 10, it's that intuition is already telling you something is wrong. Even if you don't have the words and the scholarship to put behind it, the intuition is already telling you something is wrong. But you have not done the work to be able to develop that ability to walk when it's time to walk, or to draw the line in the sand so that you know where he stands and that he has an opportunity to let it be known where he stands. That's where the work needs to be done when it comes to why he's sending mixed signals. It's not about the why. It's the why are you staying and continuing to receive those mixed signals? That's the real question. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think. Y'all already been doing it down in the comments, but continue to do that. I love your feedback. Hit me up in my inbox if you want to talk about something else. Again, don't forget your crown. When you get that book, the ebook right now, when you get instant access to that, you also can get instant access to my other 9 books for the price of 1. I'll let y'all be good. Click that link down in the caption to get that special offer because it's coming out soon.